My golden child brother stole our mother's estate, so I made him pay for the luxury life. He stole my brother, Leo, was always the golden child. He had the charm, the smile, and a chronic inability to hold down a job for more than 3 months. When our mother passed away, I expected us to split her modest estate 50-50. Instead, Leo showed up to the funeral in a brand new Porsche, clutching a revised will that left him everything: the house, the savings, and our mother's vintage jewelry collection. He thought I'd be too grief-stricken to fight back. He forgot one thing. I'm a forensic document examiner. I don't just read the fine print, I see the ink that shouldn't be there. Our mother was a simple woman who worked 40 years as a nurse. She wasn't wealthy, but she was careful. She had told me 100 times, "The house goes to both of you. It's your safety net." But Leo lived in a different reality. He was 34, living in her basement, and investing in failed crypto scams. When she got sick, I was the one paying for the home care. Leo was the one spending quality time with her, which I now realize meant hunting for her safe deposit box key. 2 days after the funeral, we met at her lawyer's office. A lawyer I didn't recognize, a man named Mr. Sterling who looked like he operated out of the back of a dry cleaner. "The 2022 will is void," Sterling said, sliding a fresh document across the table. This one was signed 3 weeks before her passing. It names Leo as the sole executor and beneficiary. I looked at the signature. To a normal eye, it looked like Mom's shaky, late-stage handwriting, but I saw the hesitation marks. I saw where the pen lifted in a way her arthritic hand never could. Leo had traced her signature from an old Christmas card. I looked at Leo. He couldn't even meet my eyes. He was too busy scrolling through luxury watch catalogs on his phone. "Is there a problem?" Leo asked, his voice dripping with fake sympathy. "I know it's a shock, but Mom knew I needed the head start more than you did." I could have called him out right there. I could have screamed, but if I did, he'd go into hiding. He'd liquidate the house and disappear. I needed him to feel safe. I needed him to spend enough of the money to trigger the felony threshold for estate fraud. "No problem, Leo," I said, forcing a smile. "If this is what Mom wanted, I won't stand in your way. I'll be out of the guest room by Friday." As I packed my bags, I didn't just take my clothes. I took the original 2022 will I had hidden in a floorboard years ago. I also took a high-resolution scan of the forged document. I wasn't going to just get my half back. I was going to make sure that by the time I was done, Leo's head start led him straight into a courtroom where golden children don't get special treatment. It took exactly 3 weeks for Leo to start living like a lottery winner who didn't understand taxes. He didn't just sell the house, he did a quick flip to a predatory developer for 60% of its value just to get the cash instantly. He moved into a glass-walled penthouse downtown, started posting photos of $500 Wagyu steaks, and, true to form, announced he was starting a high-end lifestyle concierge business. He was networking, which in Leo's world meant buying rounds of drinks for people who wouldn't remember his name the next morning. Every time I saw a post on his Instagram, I didn't get angry. I took a screenshot. Every bottle of champagne he popped was another exhibit in the folder I was building. While Leo was busy playing the part of a mogul, I was under a microscope, literally. I took the forged will to my mentor, a legendary forensic analyst. We didn't just look at the signature. We looked at the ESDA, electrostatic detection apparatus, results. "Look here," my mentor said, pointing at the thermal imaging. "The indentations on the paper don't match the ink. This signature was traced over a light box using a document from 2014. And the ink? It's from a standard ballpoint pen manufactured 6 months after your mother supposedly signed this." It was a slam dunk. Leo wasn't just a jerk. He was a clumsy criminal. But I still wasn't ready to strike. I needed to see where the rest of the money went. I reached out to Leo under the guise of burying the hatchet. I told him I was impressed by his new business and wanted to invest some of my own savings to help him scale. He met me at a rooftop bar, looking ridiculous in an oversized designer suit. "I knew you'd see the vision eventually," he gloated, leaning back. "Mom always said I had the business mind. I'm thinking of expanding to Dubai." "To expand, you'll need a clean audit," I said, sliding a partnership agreement across the table. "Just sign this, and I'll wire the first $20,000. It just confirms that all the seed capital for your business came from the estate funds." Leo didn't even read it. He was too drunk on his own ego. He signed his name with a flourish, the real signature this time, effectively confessing and writing that he was using the stolen inheritance to fund a commercial enterprise. That signature was the final piece of the puzzle. By linking the stolen estate money to his new business, I had transformed this from a simple probate dispute into money laundering. I didn't call a divorce lawyer or a civil attorney. I went straight to the State Bureau of Investigation. I handed them the ESDA reports, the partnership agreement, and the bank logs showing Leo moving money into offshore crypto wallets. "He's planning to move the rest of the cash by the end of the month," I told the lead investigator. "If you want the assets, you have to freeze the accounts tomorrow." That night, Leo texted me, "Check is in the mail, bro. Drinks on me next weekend at the penthouse." I looked at the message and didn't reply. I just looked at the blue light of my computer screen as the investigator confirmed they had a judge on standby for the seizure warrants. Leo thought he was at the top of the mountain. He didn't realize that I had spent the last month quietly removing every single support beam. The golden child was about to find out exactly how hard the ground feels when you fall from a penthouse. The setting was perfect, or at least it was for Leo. He had invited a group of high-net-worth influencers and his new business partners to an exclusive lounge to celebrate his first month of success. I wasn't invited, but I was there, sitting in a dark booth at the back, watching the clock. At 9:30 p.m., the bill arrived. Leo, ever the showman, didn't even look at the total. He snapped his fingers and handed the server a sleek metal credit card, the one he'd gotten using our mother's credit score. 5 minutes later, the server returned. "I'm sorry, sir. It's been declined." Leo laughed, that loud, arrogant bark I'd heard my whole life. "Try it again. Your machine is broken." "I've tried it 3 times, sir. It says, account frozen by order of the state." The room went quiet. The influencers started whispering. Leo's face went from a confident tan to a sickly pale gray. He pulled out his phone to check his banking app, but his face fell. His access had been revoked. That's when I stood up. I walked over to his table, the heels of my shoes clicking on the marble floor. "Is there a problem, Leo?" I asked, my voice cutting through the silence. "Mark, did you do something to my accounts?" He hissed, grabbing my arm. I gently removed his hand. "I didn't do anything, Leo. The State Bureau of Investigation did. It turns out, when you forge a will and use the proceeds to fund a concierge business, it's called money laundering, and the state is very traditional about that." Right on cue, 2 investigators in suits walked through the front entrance. They didn't make a scene they didn't have to. The sight of the badges was enough. "Leo Miller, we have a warrant for your arrest and a seizure order for all assets currently in your possession, including that watch and the keys to the Porsche." An hour later, I was looking at him through the one-way glass of the interrogation room. The designer suit was rumpled. The golden child was sobbing. He tried to blame the lawyer, Mr. Sterling. He tried to blame our mother, saying she confused him. He even tried to blame me, saying I was bitter and trapped him. The lead investigator just laid out the ESTA report and the partnership agreement Leo had signed for me. "You signed a document admitting the seed money was estate property, Mr. Miller," the investigator said flatly, "and we have the original 2022 will that your brother provided. Your revised version is a felony forgery. You're looking at 5 to 7 years. Because I had acted quickly, the state was able to claw back 90% of what he'd spent. The developer who bought the house was forced to void the sale because the title was fraudulent. I got the house back. I got the jewelry back. Leo was sentenced to 4 years. He lost his penthouse, his business, and every one of those friends who had been drinking the champagne I paid for. I went back to our mother's house a month later. It was empty and quiet. I sat in her favorite chair and looked at the original will. My mother always said Leo needed a head start. I guess she was right. He got a head start on a prison sentence and a lifetime of being a cautionary tale. People think blood is thicker than water, but truth is thicker than both. I didn't take down my brother. I just restored the foundation he tried to crack. I'm moving back into the house next week. It needs a little work, but at least I know the structure is honest, and in this family, that's a first.